And there's a couple qualities of awakened. One is that in this level of consciousness, it's living a guided life. Instead of you making things happen, it's more like allowing things to happen. And there's some sort of good magical force guiding you. One of my favorite descriptions of it is the Tao Te Ching, like all the descriptions of the Tao with all of its paradoxes, kind of gives you a feel for this. And it's not like some passive aggressive entity who has a particular plan that you must follow exactly. And if you go off track, then well, screw you, you did it wrong. It's more like wherever you're at, there's a good next step. Like wherever you're at, you actually know where to go next. You have this divine GPS telling you where to go. Not in a good, bad, right, wrong way, but like, hey, like there's a little bit more magic in this direction. And no matter how many times you ignore, for how long, for how many decades you've been ignoring the GPS, it'll still keep on giving you good advice. Like it never gets tired, it never gets distressed, it never gives up, doesn't get passive aggressive with you. It just keeps on giving good advice. And sometimes you hear it, sometimes you follow it. And a lot of times we like part of this, if there's a skill here, it's to start to recognize the feeling of that GPS and recognize the feeling of things that are not the GPS, kind of like being able to distinguish noise from the signal. And here, what I'm pointing out is just, I'm just pointing out or planting the seed that there is such a thing as signal. If it was all noise, then empowered makes sense to just stop there. If it's just a noisy world and it's just you, then yeah, like do the best that you can. But if there's signal, if there is a kind of knowing, like, yeah, don't do that. Or like, yeah, like there's something about this. It doesn't make sense, but for some reason, this, like, that's the good stuff. And it's always there. It's ever present. We often only become aware of these things when really dramatic things happen because that's usually when our thinking has been cracked open enough for us to like actually hear and pay attention to and follow the signal. And it often doesn't make sense because it's not navigating by our concepts. It's not navigating by our expertise or it's by our memory. We might have done things this way 1,000 times, but then you just kind of get a note for like, yeah, actually this time do this. And like it doesn't mean that like I'm going to do this forever. Like if the GPS says turn left, it's like I don't want to go to Cleveland. It's like no, it just said turn left. Like sometimes I've been in ayahuasca journeys where seriously, like the medicine is just having fun with me. So like, okay, like go up for more. And I'll stand up. It's like, okay, good. I just want to make sure that you were listening. You don't actually need more. You can sit back down. Like it's like, are you listening or not? And it's instead of a life of achieving and having big goals and going after them, it's more like being on a magic carpet where you don't know where it's taking you, but it's awesome. And the more that you experience it, the more you start to trust it. It's where, like one of the terms I heard recently from post-activism by Kamalefe's work is the phrase decentering agency. Like it's no longer you. Like your agency is actually off to the side, and there's something magical that you're following. So it's instead of living an empowered life, it's living a wonderful life.